Today we're taking a look at what's happening in gaming and tech news. Let's get to it. In some "do you guys not have phones" news, while we were all preoccupied at how many words Sarah Bond used to say what equated to very little actual substance when it came to addressing the bloodbath happening to game studios over at Xbox, we missed talking about the big news that she dropped, that Microsoft is launching a mobile game store. You heard that right. Later this year, Microsoft will be launching a mobile game store. But wait, it gets better. Kind of like how the info about the layoffs and studio closures only got more confusing as more words came out, the same happened here. It's apparently going to be a web-based store, and in a wording update, the purpose of it will be, well, here's the statement. We continue to focus on creating great content and finding ways to bring more value to developers. This year, we'll debut our first mobile offering where mobile players can find deals on their favorite in-game items and discover new games, starting on the web so players can access it anywhere. This web-based store is the first step in our journey to building a trusted app store with its roots in gaming. The bit that stands out here is where she says, mobile players. If we had to guess, we'd say that this is going to be all about the Candy Crush and Call of Duty mobile market, and maybe a repackaging of their current web-based store. We suspect that the focus is going to be centered on getting microtransactions in front of mobile gamers so that Microsoft can sidestep that 3070 platform cut that they currently have to deal with. You know, stuff that core gamers really care about. Because if we've learned anything about Microsoft gaming in 2024, their number one customer is the shareholder, and it's all about being at the top of everyone's favorite leaderboard. Make bar go up and to the right. We're going to take a hard turn into some lighter stuff and press on. Fresh off the smash success of their Fallout TV series, Amazon Prime Video confirmed that they've greenlit a Tomb Raider TV series. According to the announcement, the series will be written and produced by Phoebe Waller-Bridge and will premiere exclusively on Prime Video. What makes this uniquely interesting to us is that Amazon Games is also working directly with Crystal Dynamics to publish a new single-player, story-driven Tomb Raider video game. And we find this interesting because Fallout saw a resurgence in all their Fallout games across the board after the success of the Fallout TV series. But outside of a few new in-game skins, not even Fallout 76, their live service game, was prepared to fully capitalize on the show's success by way of any official crossover story tie-in. I mean, sure, a lot of things in the Fallout TV series are technically some sort of tie-in to the games, but not like we have the potential to see with what they might pull off with Amazon working directly with the TV series and game development processes at the same time. The last time we saw TV and video game tie-in potential this huge was back in 2013, when a live service game called Defiance was launched alongside a weekly TV series. And while both weren't successful enough to make it past 2015, they were well received by the fans. And lore nerds like myself absolutely loved how both mediums complemented one another at times in some pretty creative ways. Hopefully the folks over at Amazon and Crystal Dynamics have improved on that blueprint. And in what we're going to chalk up as a big win for PC gaming, and also against Sony's best or worst efforts, during a recent earnings call, Sony announced that Helldivers 2 has sold over 12 million units, making it their fastest selling game ever. And we say against their best efforts because just 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the Helldivers 2 community's historic review bombing and refund campaign in response to Sony's decision to retroactively force PC gamers to use a PSN account to access the game. The situation left many wondering if there would be a serious long-term brand damage to the game, but I think we have our answer, at least for now. The CEO of Arrowhead took to social media to announce the news, along with some fun facts. From the post, as announced in the Sony earnings call, we have sold over 12 million units. It's crazy to think that there are more Helldivers than there are Swedes. What a massive achievement from everyone involved in realizing Helldivers 2. A massive thank you to the community for your support, passion, and dedication in the fight for democracy. All love. And we started this section off by saying that this is a big win for PC gaming because less than 2 weeks back, we ran a section about how, at the time, Helldivers 2 was Sony's 7th highest grossing game in history. But without PC, it wouldn't have even been in the top 20. Unless purchasing trends drastically changed in the last 2 weeks, our Monday morning extrapolating skills tell us that PC is playing a significant role in this 12 million units sold update. By the time this video goes live, Diablo 4's biggest update since launch should be live globally on all available platforms, and from what we've seen so far on launch day, it's currently being well received by the fanbase. If you're unfamiliar with this update, it's being called Loot Reborn, and much like Diablo 3, the loot system in Diablo 4 at launch wasn't that well received. It was seen as equal parts convoluted and unexciting. So, Blizzard took that feedback to heart, and unlike the previous 3 seasons, there's no new quest lines or seasonal mechanics in this update. This one's all about reworking and fine-tuning some of the game's core mechanics. For us, one of the more interesting bits of the update is that legendary aspects are now automatically added to the Codex of Power, which makes the loot system feel a bit more like Diablo III in the flexibility that this change adds. It essentially means that we'll easily be able to swap legendary powers as we get new gear. But this update isn't only about tweaking core mechanics and overhauling loot. They've also added a new endgame activity called the Pit, which is a randomized 200-floor dungeon that scales in difficulty and rewards, and is also where some of the highest level crafting materials can be found. The patch notes are long, like really long, and to fully understand them, you have to read some of the blogs along the way, which are linked in the patch notes themselves. Or you can ignore the reading part and simply fire up the game and learn about them in real time. We've been itching to hop back into Diablo IV, but held off once we learned about Loot Reborn, so we're definitely jumping back in now. And let's finish this episode off with some current game sales. GOG kicked off their shooter sale, and it's set to run for 2 weeks. As the name suggests, it's a shooter-themed sale that focuses on games where you shoot stuff. As of this video, they're showing just under 400 games on the list, and some are as much as 95% off. Meanwhile, over at Steam, we have a couple of sales events to cover. First off is the Dear Villagers Publisher Sale, where you can pick up games from the indie publisher of the same name for up to 90% off. And if browsing through their whole catalog isn't your thing, they've added a top 6 list that includes The Forgotten City, which you should definitely check out. Ubisoft is having a franchise sale for Watch Dogs, and if you're okay with the Ubisoft Connect requirement, there's some good fun to be had throughout the series. Ubisoft Connect opinions aside, and we're not fans of even more things to log into here, the Watch Dogs games are a bit of a guilty pleasure here at Overload headquarters. They let you unrealistically live out your dreams of being part of an international hacking group that may or may not be hacking for the right reasons. That part's up to you. And finally, Steam is hosting their Endless Replayability Fest, where now through May 20th, they're celebrating games and demos that you can play over and over again. There's a lot to like in this sale, but seeing how we've replayed Skyrim at least once a year since it originally launched, we're kinda curious as to why that's not on the list. Seriously though, this is a bang for your buck sale if we've ever seen one. Also, don't forget to hit the Steam Points shop and pick up the free event items for your account. As always, the links for this and every other topic will be in the description below. I want to mention our Patreon. As a subscriber, you'll be listed as a producer of our content. You'll also get access to our custom game cover art that we've put together over the years. You'll likely see it in action in some of our videos. This art works great with custom launchers and really goes a long ways in making a digital game collection look awesome. So click on the link below, head on over to our Patreon, and become a producer today. And that about wraps things up. Please like this video if you found it useful, and subscribe to our channel if you want more content like this. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and we'll chat again soon.